Hi everyone, welcome to Quilt Talk Tuesday. My name is Tina Dillard with Quilting Affection Designs, and I'm a pattern designer. I'm a teacher, and my passion is quilting. And today we're doing more of our Facebook Lives. I want to welcome you all to it. Today has been a very busy day. The whole week has been busy. I'm getting ready to go to Studio 180 Design certification training next Friday actually. I leave, and today it's been training for some other business related items, and today and it's continuing on with different other business. It's going back to back to back. So today I've been busy. So today we're going to continue our quilt, our show with, we're going to continue with our Quilting Basics 101. We've been doing this for the last 13 weeks, and I've set it up for 14 weeks, so we have one more week to do this. So we are going to do some continuous bias binding today, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to do it for a quilt that you can see on my board here. That I have just recently finished. Is for one of my Island Boutique Ambassador projects, and I'm going to be doing that. We're going to make the binding for this, and so next week, the following week, we are going to sew the binding on after I have this all quilted. So with that said, feel free to at any time to leave a thumbs up, a like, a smiley face anytime throughout the video, and feel free to share with your friends and your family, or even into your favorite Facebook group. That way they can see what's going on also. So for today's topic, we're talking about the continuous binding. So what you're going to do with that, and I found this really cool app for your phone, and I'm going to post it in the links up above in the description area. What the app is, it is called the Quilting Calculator app. And in this app, you can determine the size of binding you're going to need. And I'll talk about this in another video if you want. But this is a great app. It goes through what size of batting you need. It talks about the piecing in there. You can also get it for your computer also. So, so with the binding, I measured my quilt from all the sides, and it was 39 by 39.5 by 39.5. So what I did with this app is I took it and I told it I wanted a 2.5 inch binding. And I hit OK. And then I typed in 39.5, and it's 39 by 39.5. So that means 39.5. So I'm going to hit calculate. And it's going to tell me the total size of length of binding I need in inches, how many strips to cut, and the yardage. I'm going to need 3/8. So I've already done this. I've already cut my 5 strips of 2.5s, and they are ready to go for our binding. Thank you, Carol. Yes, I love the colors too. This is in my Island Boutique Ambassadors project for the month. So yeah, I'm trying to finish it all up. So with that said, my mouse keeps moving away from there. I'm going to let me switch cameras real quick here. There we go. Excuse me. I'm going to show you how to do a continuous binding on this. So what you're going to do is you're going to take it and place your fabric down, right sides facing up on this fabric. I'm going to move these out of the way. And then you're going to take another strip, and I'm going to need a marking pencil. I'll use this. And you're going to take it and place it right side down. So your right sides are going to be facing each other. Then you're going to take a ruler and you're going to mark from the point it meets to the other side. And you want to leave a little extra on the top and the side. And I need to stand up for this. And you're going to mark a line. This is going to be your sewing line. Then I go ahead and I pin to hold this in the same spot. Then once you get it all pinned, good afternoon. So now we're going to, and what I did was I grabbed the piece that's on top and I go to all the way to the end. And then I'm going to flip it over so the right side is facing up. Then we're going to add another strip of for our binding. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to lay the right side down so our right sides are facing each other. Have a little bit hanging over. And you're going to go ahead and mark from the point that it meets here on this side to the point that it meets on the other side, and draw a line. And you're going to pin again. You're going to continue that for all your strips. So we have a couple more strips to do. And if you're just joining us, we're making a strip binding for a quilt that I have here next to me. We're making a regular continuous binding, and we're going to go ahead and lay our right sides together again. And we're going to lay it down. And we're going to mark. We're just going to continue marking and pinning. So one more strip. And I'm making sure that the right side is facing up. And for our last strip, we're going to make sure that our right side is facing down. And I'm making everything sure is all even. Take my ruler and mark my points. Just making sure you guys are not seeing this off camera. So that's it for that. So I'm going to put these to the side, get them out of my way. Mark, pin them up, and then we're going to put them underneath the sewing machine, and we're going to stitch these pieces together. So again, if you have any questions or comments about binding or anything, please let me know and I'll try to answer your questions. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the very first piece that we did, and I'm going to go ahead and just drop this in my lap. And I've already set my machine up. So what we're going to do is we're going to lay it underneath my machine. And we're going to stitch those lines that we've created already. So I'm going to drop my needle. And make sure my thread is back out of the way. And we're going to go ahead and stitch across on that line. The next, we're going to just continue. Now that we've got them all pinned together, we're just going to continuous chain piece it all together. And we're going to go ahead and continue. I'm going to take these pins out because they'll hold. And we're going to sew on those lines. Just take your time and make sure you stay on those lines. And then we'll go to the next one. And we're going to continue on with this. You're going to continue all the way until you get to the very end of your last strip. And this, I think this is, yep, this will be our last one. So we are now, I'm going to pick my needle up and we're going to cut these apart. Binding is fairly easy to do. You just got to make sure you know what you need for your yardage. And like I said, I'm going to go ahead and put the app information in my description area when I get done here with this video. So, and it's called the Quilters app, and you can find that through the Apple Store or even I think it's even in the Android area also. So I'm going to take my rotary cutter and my ruler. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to lay this down on my line, and I'm going to stand up because I can cut better and get more accurate cuts because I really want it to cut nice. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a 1/4 inch line and we're going to lay it on that sewing line that we just created, and we're going to go across. And now what I like to do is right here is just line it all up and cut these little dog ears off. And you get a nice clean cut and it looks really nice. So we're going to go to the next one. And we're going to put our ruler down again on those lines and cut across. And we're going to cut our dog ears off again. You're going to continue this with all of those seams that we just created. I think that's the last one. So, and if you have to, make sure your end is sticking up on the table so it doesn't fly around and it's not going to knock your fabric off. And we're going to cut that one, cut the dog ears off, clean it up, and we are ready to take this to the ironing board to finish to make our binding. Thank you, Wanda. So I'm going to move my chair out of the way. So, and I'm going to go and find my mouse again. We're going to move over to the ironing board. So the binding is for this quilt here, and we're going to be sewing that on next week. I just like to make my binding ahead of time, so when I'm done long arming, I can go ahead and do that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take our binding and we're going to go to our seams, and we're going to use our iron on here. We're going to open up our seams. Just like so. And then we're going to go down to the next seam, and I missed a seam, so I'm going to go back and I'm going to cut that real quick. I thought it was close. I was done too soon. And I'm going to cut those pieces off real quick. And we'll go back to the ironing board and continue. So we're just going to open up our seams again. And sometimes they take a little time. You just got to use your fingernails and kind of open them up. Hand press them first and then take them to with your iron. And then you're going to go down further. You're going to just do that for every seam that you have. Now, once we get this done, we're going to fold our fabric in half and press. So we have one more, I think we have one more seam. And voila, we have our seams all pressed. So now we need to find our beginning again. And we want to make sure the right side is facing down, and we're going to press. We're going to go ahead and start with our hand pressing here just to get it started, and we're going to just fold it in half so that the seams match up, or the edges match up. And we're going to press. Oh, just press it closed. Just work it with your fingers. And you can see that our binding is pressing really nice here. So we're going to go ahead and continue. We moved it down. And you're just going to work it all the way down until you can't move, and then you're going to adjust it again. So I'm going to go ahead and stop there, and I'm going to move it down, and I'm going to move some of this down out of the way so I can go a little bit further. And I'm hoping you guys can see this really well. The name of the pattern is Whirlwind, and it is one of my patterns. You can find it on my website on quiltingaffection.com. I'm currently in the process of reworking on the pattern to make it a Studio 180 friendly pattern, and I will be releasing that this month when I introduce my Island Boutique project. And so we're going to continue on. We're just going to keep pressing all the way down until we get to the end. Just gently work with so the seams match up and you're in halfway. You're folding it in, just folding it in half. Yes, Carol, you should know batiks are really, really nice to press. I think they're the best things to press for a binding. So we're just going to continue on. So I am looking, as I'm continuing pressing, for ideas. I'm wondering if you guys would be interested in taking one of my patterns and doing a sew-along. If you are, please comment in the comment sections. I am kind of looking for ideas for the start in August for our next series. You should wash your batiks ahead of time to make sure you get all the wax out and the color dye. Depends if I usually do wash them. Depends on what project I'm doing. If I'm doing a show quilt, I will not wash them. But you should actually. I'm gonna be probably washing mine more and more because I'm finding more wax on my products. If I'm doing a show quilt, I will not wash my quilt because I want it to look crisp and clean. So I'm going to continue on. And you'll see that I'm actually working it all down to the seam. We're getting to the last part of our quilt. Or what I should say, binding. And I just grab the end down there just to make sure it'll start rolling over to the half and continue on. Now if you're working with a regular cotton, I would suggest maybe using a little best press to help fold it, make it a good fold. Yes, there is wax being helps to seal the colors into the fabric when they use for batiks. So that is how you make a quilt binding. I'm gonna just bear with me. I'm gonna move my camera up. Well, I don't have to worry about it. I'm gonna go ahead and change screens here real quick. There, now we can see each other. And I'm gonna remove that one. So that is how you make a regular binding for a quilt. Next week we're going to go over how to put it on my quilt. I'm going to be quilting it this week on my long arm, and I'll have it all ready so we can go ahead and quilt, sew it on to the front on, and then I'll show you a little bit about how to sew it on the back. So that's what we're going to be doing next week. So I'm going to talk about the quilt behind me. So yes, make sure you do use a color catcher on that, also with your fabrics also. I did that for some fabrics I used yesterday, and it caught a lot of the fabrics. It was dark colors and everything. So the quilt behind me is my newest pattern called Rainbow Serenade. It looks complicated. It's not really complicated. It's really easy. It is just quarter square triangles, just cutting off the ends with the corner pop tool by Studio 180 Designs. I'm thinking about showing you guys how to make this, some of the blocks in this, starting in August. Thank you. So I'm going to be working with that. Let me show you that tool. Let me grab that real quick. I should have had it out. It's a great tool to take off your ends. I gotta find it. And I don't think I can find it. And I don't have it handy. I'm so disorganized right now. I'm getting ready to go. So it is a very easy pattern. It just looks complicated. And starting in August, I'm going to start going over that pattern. How to make that pattern. So, and it is up for sale on my website. You can check out my other patterns on my website also. And be sure to go over to my website and sign up for my newsletter and blog also, because you can also find out more information and you can get a free pattern when you do. Also, if you have some ideas for learning how to make a pattern or working on a pattern, one of my patterns even, please let me know just by chatting in Facebook, just posting and say, I want to learn this pattern on your website, and I'll put it down on my list. Okay, thank you. I love to. Thank you, Carol. This pattern, it takes some time, but you guys will learn so fast how to make this one. So I'll plan that for August, and when I get back, we'll do a Studio 180 pattern. And we'll do a Facebook Live, and we'll do a sew along, and I'll show you the step-by-steps of what we should do. And I have some other ideas for August too, so we're not doing it all the time. So, like I said, sign up for my newsletter and watch me. You can also watch me on twitchtv.com, twitch.tv under Quilting Affection. That's my channel. I stream Mondays and Fridays for 3 hours on both days. I'm working on projects around my studio. You can ask me questions, whatever. I'm on there. The link is in the description area. So I think that is it. So so make sure you check out my website, and I want to wish you all to have a great week, and I'm hoping my week will slow down a little bit after today. And I will see you next week for Quilt Talk Tuesday at 2:30 p.m. here on my Quilting Affection Designs Facebook channel. Well, page. I have channel on my... It's page. I have channel in my head. So let's call that a stream. And if you have any other questions, please post them in the comment section, and I'll get back to you. Thank you for showing up. Thanks. See you soon.